Congratulations again.
Good fight, Arturo.
All right, Arturo. You described to us what you thought was happening in the first round.
Well, in the first round, I was, first of all, I was trying to headhunt too much. I was trying to beat him to the jab, and then I remembered to go to the shoulder, but he was hard to hit. I was headhunting. It was hard to hit, and he was just quick. He was quicker than I thought he would be.
Did you break the rule in the first round of not protecting yourself at all time?
Well, that's what they say. You have to protect yourself at all time. It was my mistake, I guess. If I did.
You describe what happened here.
Well, right there, I thought that I thought the referee would have broke us apart because he was holding my head down. So I lifted my head and looked at the referee, and he hit me. So yeah, you must protect yourself at all time. I learned the hard way, I guess, huh?
So were you angry, and did that get you out of your game plan to punch him more in the arms, to get close to him, and so on?
Not at all, Larry. Floyd's a quick, very, very fast fighter. I didn't expect him to be that quick. Everybody told me he has fast hands, but he's also fast with the upper body.
You wanted this fight because you said you wanted to check out just how good you were. How good do you think you are now, and how good is he?
He's very good. He's just quicker than I am. I think I did very good with him for the sixth round. But I was thinking too many punches to the head for no reason, But he was very quick, and I feel that I belong in this ring tonight.
Which sounds like your career is going onward.
Oh, of course. I had a hard time making 140. You're going to see me one more time at 147. If not, that's it for me after 47.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Arturo. Jim?
All right, thank you very much. So, a brilliant display by Floyd Mayweather. Boy, does this guy love the spotlight. In the previous biggest fight of his career, he knocked Diego Corrales down 6 times on a night when a lot of ringside observers really thought that the more powerful Corrales was going to beat him. Here, he totally embarrasses Arturo Gatti. How can you keep him off the top of the pound-for-pound list, and who's going to fight him?
There's no way to really keep him off the top of that list. I mean, he truly is the best fighter out there right now. Miguel Cotto is definitely coming up that list fast, and I'm sure Miguel Cotto would definitely welcome a match against Floyd Mayweather. There are people that always want to fight the best because you got to beat the best in order to beat the best. So if guys want to be the best, they got to see Floyd.
Yeah, and Ricky Hatton, who is Ring Magazine's champion in this division for the moment, has a tremendous economic cushion in his home country of England. He has great support circumstances in Manchester that make it difficult to get him to come fight in the United States. I don't see why Floyd should have any trepidation whatsoever about going to Manchester to fight Ricky Hatton.
He shouldn't, and I don't think he would, because if he goes there, he's going to beat Ricky Hatton, and Ricky Hatton is not quick enough, just like Arturo was not quick enough to really deal with him. When you have a guy with that type of speed, he's deadly, and he should be there for a long time.
All right, sit tight. I'm going to ask you about something else here in just a minute. Larry, we began the evening just before the fight. Max Kellerman suggested it would be the biggest pay-per-view mismatch since Lewis Tyson, and it was indeed a mismatch.
It was a mismatch, but can we forget Winky Wright and Felix Trinidad?
Another mismatch, as it turned out.
As it turns out, Floyd Mayweather said, "I'm the truth," and in fact, he was the truth tonight. He was just too good. He's a remarkable throwback fighter in a different way than Gatti has been a throwback fighter. We don't see many fighters with his kind of skills. He comes from a state, Michigan, that has turned out many great fighters. He comes from a fighting family. And when you look at him in the ring, you think he fights as naturally as a fish swims. And the fish sometimes is a shark.
Absolutely. Well, let's turn our attention to the next big pay-per-view event here on HBO. July 16, the guy who is #1 on Ring Magazine's pound-for-pound list and the undisputed middleweight champion with 20 consecutive title defenses, Bernard Hopkins, does a very creditable thing. In the twilight of his career, while he's headed out the door, he agrees to fight bigger, stronger, younger, faster, presumably hungrier Jermaine Taylor, the #1 contender. What do you think?
Well, since I was just giving you, in part, a geographic description of what happened here, And what contributed to the way Floyd Mayweather fights, Bernard Hopkins comes out of the cauldron of the Philadelphia gyms. And what he brings to the fight against a gifted young fighter from Little Rock is all the years he spent in those gyms and his remarkable ability to stay hungry. And so the issue is going to be his speed and youth and youthful hunger going to be able to overcome a great veteran's hunger.
Indeed. Bernard uses, Roy Jones, many different mechanisms to keep fueling his unique hunger. One of them was his huge desire to get to the top of the pound-for-pound list, and now, in order to stay there, maybe he has to have a spectacular performance against Taylor. Will that figure into the way Bernard performs on July 16th?
I don't think it will, but you got to remember, Bernard is 40, or going on 40, whichever one it is.
He's 40.
But he's been using his head and being very smart about his career. A lot of people criticize him for the moves and the decisions he made, but he's very smart. And being that he's so smart, he understands that he can't come out and try to compete with a Floyd Mayweather as far as the pound-for-pound list goes. He just has to win. And believe me, he's not going to sacrifice a win worrying about looking at the top of that pound-for-pound list. Trust what I tell you.
One more 10-second comment before we go back upstairs. I did a personal disservice to boxing and boxing fans by not establishing clearly last week that Antonio Tarver and Glenn Johnson were fighting for the Ring Magazine championship belt. That focus was properly applied here this evening. Let's go back upstairs to Bob Cobb.